What's up, YouTube? Wesley here again with Mountains, Mushrooms, and Mary Jane. In today's episode, we're going to be inoculating some DIY Agar Petri dishes. If you followed the last episode, you saw all about where to find those ingredients and how to make that. So today we're going to be inoculating those Petri dishes with some spore syringes. It's actually going to be some Pearl Oyster Gourmet spore syringe that we're going to be using, and we're going to let you guys follow us along on that journey as it begins to grow on the agar. From there we'll transfer it, make a liquid culture, and then after the liquid culture we'll make some rye berry jars and inoculate the rye berry jar with the liquid culture. And we're going to do all this to kind of lower the chances of contamination rather than going straight from spores. We're also going to be able to isolate good healthy mycelium during this process to get the strongest mushrooms that we can and the fastest growing that we can as well. So I hope you enjoy these videos, and here we go. Alright, so we're here in my kitchen where I like to do most of my mycology work now, and we're going to go over some supplies that you will need to do this. So the first one is highly recommended but not mandatory, and that is the still air box. The big clear box with the two big holes in it is the still air box. That's going to create our sterile environment. If you don't have one of these, just turn off all your fans, your AC, any heater you might have running for an hour beforehand, and spray the whole area after you turn off the fans with alcohol very well, and then right before you do your work again, spray everything with alcohol. I like to think that that kills any contaminants that are on the surfaces, and then after the hour, when any contaminants in the air have settled, then you spray again to kill those, and that should create a pretty clean environment for you to do your mycology work in. But I still highly recommend making a still air box, which I have a video on, so you can check that out as well. Beyond that, you're going to want some long gloves. Elbow high gloves is what I use, and I will saturate those with alcohol before I stick my arms in there. That way I'm not introducing contaminants when I'm reaching in and out. You're going to want a tape to mark your Petri dishes and a marker, and then of course your Petri dishes and your rubbing alcohol. You're going to want your torch if you're using a used spore syringe in order to flame sterilize the syringe. Today we're going to be actually working with some Pearl Oyster Gourmet mushrooms. That is a brand new multi-spore syringe, or MSS, and it has a sterilized needle in there, so we won't have to really worry about the flame sterilization for the part that you'll see. And that is pretty much all you need. If you don't have a still air box, I also highly recommend wearing a face mask so you're not breathing all kinds of contamination into the air, and some paper towels so that you can wipe up all the alcohol after it's soaked. And that should be it. So with that said, we're going to get right into it. So as said before, I already sprayed everything once, but we're going to do our final spray and get to work. So I'm going to let you watch that process. I literally spray everything, countertop, backsplash, the areas around it that I'm not even going to be working in, just in case. Should have started with my hands, but it's okay, everything's soaking, so it'll be fine. Good thing to clean everything. I even sprayed the bottom where I set it down. inside, to the bottom. And if you guys were wondering what I did with those 3 dishes that I lost lids to, I put them inside of a baggie. So we're gonna see how that goes. Actually, I am gonna use these ones for our gourmet ones that we're doing today. We'll spray that as well before we put that in there. Then we have our top, which we will spray completely inside and out also. Stock up on alcohol because we're going to go through lots of it if you continue this hobby. Might as well buy it by the gallon if you can find it. The whole inside is sprayed. Whole outside. And we'll wait about 30 seconds and get to work. Alright, so we got the camera adjuster. Let's square our gloves down again. Real good. Spray our paper towel just so it acts as an alcohol wipe. And we're going to take our syringe, spray the outside of that as well. And after we open it, we'll wipe the syringe itself with the alcohol wipe that we made. I hope you guys can see in here. So we got our syringe, we got our petri dish, and we have our alcohol rag. So this is pretty simple. We're just going to pull the syringe out. Guess you can poke it through. So, syringe, sterile needle. If you're using a used needle, you just skip the opening process right there because it's already open. You'll pull your pink or white cap. Flame sterilize the needle till it's red hot. I like to do it 3 times. Let it cool, and then when you suppress the syringe a little bit, it'll sizzle at first. Once the sizzle stops, don't depress it too hard or you'll shoot all your water out. But once the sizzle stops, then you're pretty much good to go. I do all that outside of the still air box and then come in real quick afterwards. It is a risk of contamination, but I haven't made a bigger still air box yet that I don't think the torch would melt a hole through. So that's just how I've been doing it. But with a brand new syringe, so say you're following this process and you made the Petri dish with us, you ordered some brand new syringes, you would open your Petri dish, and wipe your syringe down first. Give it a good shake. And these things are harder to open with gloves than you would think. These needles. You're gonna open your needle though. So a lot of times I get frustrated and just push it through. Like that. Pull the lure lock off. Syringe straight on. And now you have a sterile syringe ready to use. You would remove your lids at this point and kind of leave them halfway on there. Since we don't have lids for these 3, and I'll do 2, I guess, with the lids just so you guys can see. Carefully remove these. Been sitting outside of the still air box, so I'm just going to give it a wipe with the alcohol. Same with this one. Give it a good wipe. Alright. Now we'll just line these up and literally put a drop in each one. Leaving the lid on there like that just helps prevent contamination. You can kind of just pick it up, put your drop in, and then close it up right away. We don't have that luxury with these other 3, so we're going to just do them first. Just pull straight off. I like to get it started with just a little squirt to the alcohol wipe, and it's already gone. Just one drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, 5 drop. Put your cap right back on. This is no longer a sterile needle, so the next time I use it, I will have to flame sterilize it. Put these back in our bag. Ziploc bags are pretty sterile for the most part, so if you run out of lids, you can try this as well. And it's all closed up, and that is that. Alright, and the last step, really easy step. Take your roll of tape and your marker and just label and date each one. Simple as that. I like to use abbreviations. Today is the 28th of July. So we're gonna go PO Pearl Oyster 7/28. We got 5 of them, but we only got 3 that need marked because we'll just mark the bag with all the same one sticker. So PO 7/28. PO 7/28. That's how I like to do it. I just like to write it directly on there. And take it and tear it off. And you can stick it to the lid, you can stick it to the side, you can stick it to the bottom, wherever you feel best. I usually just stick them to the lid. And then those will go into the spawn box or incubation chamber for 3-4 days, maybe a week. We should definitely see some growth and be able to make a liquid culture transfer to that, and then from the liquid culture inoculate some rye berries and go from there. Alright, I'll do 2 more that are not sterile needles so that you can see the process for flame sterilizing as well. Again, since I've been outside of the box, I'm spraying my gloves really well. I've already sprayed my syringes and put them inside of there. Spray our alcohol wipe. It's still pretty wet, so it should be sanitary. And we'll do 2 cups. This one I won't do from over the top, just so you can see the flame sterilization process. Wipe the cup out on the outside right away. Wipe the cup on the outside. Wipe my syringe. Be careful working around live flames with the rubbing alcohol. Use common sense. Close that back up real quick, leave that running, because I'm going to open my lids. I'm just going to spray my hands one more time too. can never, ever, ever be too clean when working with mushrooms. The more sterile you are, the better. If you can get a laminar flow head, that's the way to go. Just pop them open and leave the lid right on top. Don't even open it all the way. Okay. Once I set this on the counter, I'll wipe it one more time. Pull out the syringe. It's not sterile. I try not to put it in the box. Sometimes I forget. Heat it up all the way to the bottom, as close as you can get. Red hot. You'll hear a little sizzle. And back. One. And again. Two. And again. Three. Give it a second to cool. I shook these up really well beforehand, but if you shake it now, it will sizzle. Little spritz out so it cools off. There we go. And one drop close. Drop close. I actually dropped a couple drops in there. Pull your syringe back out. Close it up. That is how to do it if you have a used spore syringe. I would also like to give a shout out to Sonoran Spores. I'm not sponsored by them, but they are who I use for all my spores, whether it's multi-spore syringes or swabs. They are who I go through, so don't be Sonoran on Sonoran. Alright YouTube, so we've successfully inoculated our DIY Agar now. So we will give it about 4 to 7 days, and then we will check on that growth, make sure there's no contamination or bacteria or mold or anything growing with them, and that it's healthy mycelium. So I hope you're following along on the journey. If you are, we'll see you on the next one. Until then, this is Wesley with Mountains, Mushrooms, and Mary Jane. Have a wonderful day.